This is a wrap of the live market open for Friday, October 16th. We had lots of interesting developments, and the big ones was a comeback of the US dollar thanks to CPI that beat expectations with 1.9 year-over-year on the core figure. Inflation in the United States is ticking a bit higher, and is it real? Is it just an excuse to buy dollars? Anyway, markets are on the move. Jobless claims also came out better than expected, lowest since 1973. Other figures disappointed once again, manufacturing figures, but the mood is more pro-dollar now, much better than it used to be 24 hours beforehand with the terrible retail sales figure in the United States. So we have, in general, a stronger dollar, but the reaction is not even across the board. Okay, so we have euro suffering more because of the ECB talking a bit more about QE. We're seeing it, we saw it make a false break above 114.60, and it continues the downfall. The pound, that's already a better story, 154.56. It did climb above 155, and it's lower, but still stable. Dollar yen recovered from the lows. Better figures in the US certainly help. 119.12. I suspect that if figures are okay in the United States, we'll have dollar yen creeping back up to 120, the level it really, really loves. Canadian dollar has shown a lot of strength because despite rising oil inventories, it's still under 129, which I see as an important level. It used to be double bottom right here. Let's see the figures today. Australian dollar is one of the weaker currencies thanks to, or because of because of rising expectations for a rate cut in Australia, even 2 rate cuts in November and in December. Okay, so we have these, the Australian dollar still on high ground, still battling with this important 72.80 level, but I see it as a more vulnerable one. We have Chinese GDP very early on Monday morning. And New Zealand dollar currently falling to around 68 level, just dipped below that. 69 serves as resistance, but New Zealand is looking quite good, and this dip might be a buy opportunity. 69 is resistance. We had positive inflation data in New Zealand, the budget surplus, so things aren't looking that shabby in New Zealand. Okay, so these are things going on. Let's look at events awaiting us today as part of our wrap. Just after the show, we have final Eurozone inflation data, and also we have trade balance data there. It could impact, of course, the ECB next week, but no big changes are expected. Manufacturing sales in Canada, 12:30. 115 US industrial output expected to fall. The most important figure is the survey by the University of Michigan and Reuters about consumer sentiment. We're expecting it to rise to 89 points from 87.2. That's the main event for today, sort of setting the last tone and tune for the week. We'll have, I believe, we'll have a significant impact on markets after we had, on one hand, weak retail sales in the US and then positive inflation data. This will probably set the tone for what's next ahead for the US dollar, rate hike expectations, for the rest towards the Fed decision on October 28th. Okay, so this sort of that closes things for the week. Thank you again for coming to the show. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for spreading the good word. We'll be here once again tomorrow. Tomorrow, Saturday. We'll be here once again on Monday with the Chinese GDP and next week's important events, with the ECB being the most important one. I'm looking forward for a lot of action in euro dollar. So again, thank you very much, everybody.